Okay. So we've got some knights here. Clerics, knights. Stall owners. Ooh, goods. Chronicle of Fates by Gregorius Fault, Chapter 2. It befits any servant of his to thank daily the Emperor, him that holdeth the key, for the lot given them in life. As I have thanked him with my writings for the thousands of moon lives, so too do I thank him now with the fetters that are preparing my soul for its new destiny. The rules of this service are simple. Day after day, I reverently carry with me the glass fetters, not daring to break them. Some believe that merely keeping them by one's bedside is enough to perform the sacrament. This is a lie, perpetuated by the slothful and the faint of heart. They believe that there are some glass fetters that most just keep by their bedside, but this guy thinks that it's important to carry them on him as a sacrament. I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound like a normal aspect of the Imperium. So I think that's where we're trying to get to. Let's wander around a bit first. Anything we can interact with. There's a climbing spot up here to get somewhere. Dead body up here, that's important. There were some goods back here. We'll grab these first. Oh, trap.
Oh, too hard for a simple monkey. Watch your steps.
Couple of
I
traps.
sense something nearby.
Lots of traps.
A trivial task. My success was inevitable.
What do we have? Ebonite sword. It's a two-handed sword. Target hit with the sword suffers a number of static charges equal to the damage dealt by the attack. When a creature with those stacks is killed, all creatures adjacent to it, except the wielder, suffer shock damage equal to the number of static charge stacks. Most warriors... Okay. So... every time you hit them, they just start building up static equal to the damage you're doing until eventually someone dies and it just blasts out doing damage to all creatures, not enemies. So probably the person who's up front attacking is going to get hit by these static charges as well. Not ideal, but interesting. And then a Cyber Eagle thing that we can't use because we don't have a Cyber Eagle. It's really weird that the DLC added these cyber pets that, unless I'm missing something, only we'd have to reclass ourselves to be in Arbites in order to have them. And I don't see a need to have multiple Arbites on the party. Just is weird. Alright. Can we get up here? Yes. Where are you all running off to?
We need to investigate.
Is the only way over here walking around in some really long, convoluted fashion?
Follow my lead.
Can't open this gate or anything? Okay, yeah, we gotta go down here to get to that body. And then potentially we could climb up to here somewhere to get over to these goods. Yeah, I don't see any other way to get over here. So yeah, we're gonna have to come down from the top. We'll have to remember that when we get up there. Clerics, what do you believe? Can't really tell.
I won't tolerate weakness.
More goods. Another pamphlet. So this is chapter 1. Let these instructions enlighten all who walk in my footsteps. He that holdeth the key permits none but his most faithful to change their fates. And I, the eminent Gregorius, fault, have no right to fail him. This, my present work, will describe how a soul becomes purified and the rituals required to prepare it for its momentous turn of fate. These being things that any servant of his who intends to break the shackles of their former life will have to undergo. So it's interesting to me, they're talking all about he that holdeth the key, which seems to be the Emperor. But they also gave us a key to Thessara. So I'm wondering what they believe about holding keys, like why that's so important to their religious view.
A new challenge for me.
And we've got some goods over here. No one with a name yet. Do you see Lady Noella's rotting face? No amount of whitener can fix that. They say the poor soul has been trying to cover her sores with lime wash, the kind they use for walls. Oh. Maeve, anything you want to talk about at this point? Noticing your gaze, Maeve turns to you. My celestial lord. She hesitates before continuing. They say you are the God Emperor's anointed. Have you truly seen him? Why, have I? I've not just seen him, I personally advised him on the ruling of the Imperium. No. Alas, no, our God Emperor resides on Holy Terra, many light centuries from here. To behold him is a privilege denied to all but a few. Throw Maeve a look of contempt. I'm not gonna lie. No, to behold him is a privilege denied to all but a few. Maeve lets out a forlorn sigh. I wish I could see him, but I am sure his splendor is so dazzlingly bright that one glance upon his visage is enough to blind a person on the spot. Oh, pardon me. You probably wanted to ask me something, didn't you? You are actually correct. Astropaths, I believe, part of their training is... I think it involves looking upon the Emperor, which burns out their eyes, but that allows them to be able to forever see the Astronomicon. That's part of the process. I could be slightly off on that. Solomon casts a quick glance around as if looking for someone and then nods at you confidently. How do you find living at the governor's court? What do you think of the governor? Tell me about Bluff the Fool. How did he win the governor's favor? Since you're here, show me how Thessarian entertain their nobles. Continue our walk or look straight through her. How do you find living at the governor's court? I dare not complain, my celestial lord. Lesser nobles such as myself sometimes receive punishments for angering our lords, but that is good in a way. I think it makes me cleaner and brighter on the inside, and helps me to better serve the God Emperor, the holder of the key to all destinies. Maeve makes the sign of the Aquila and turns a reverent gaze upon you. Holder of the key to all destinies. So that's, again, this connection to keys. You called the Emperor the holder of the key to all destinies. Why? Forgive me if I've said something wrong, my lord. Preacher Antiochus said that the God Emperor holds the key to all destinies in his celestial hand. He himself sits at the very top of the great tower of humankind. From there, gazing out over the worlds and stars of his domain, he sees all, knows all, and a bloody tear rolls down his cheek when he reads our shameful thoughts and deeds and the annals of our lives. But those who strive, who do not let the seed of evil into their hearts, he will reward with a new destiny, a new life, higher and better than the one before. With a turn of his key, he unlocks the dungeon of their souls. I live in hope that one day he will come to my door. Maeve smiles Maeve's smile is one of sad resignation. So they believe in sort of a reincarnation of if you've lived a pure life, the God Emperor will turn a key to the dungeon of your soul, whatever that means, to give you a new, better life. How fascinating. And what are you going to do to get a better destiny? I can hope, pray earnestly, try to be virtuous and diligent, and if I manage to please the Celestial Lord, then maybe, just maybe, the Emperor will take notice. Why did the God Emperor lock people in a dungeon? Are we referring to this, the dungeon of their soul? I don't think that's a real dungeon. Why did the God Emperor lock people in a dungeon? In the time of darkness, the God Emperor walled up the Tower of Humankind against fiends and monsters to keep it safe from evil. But evil had already planted its seeds in thousands upon thousands of human souls. He locked them in the dungeon of the tower so that they might first eradicate the evil in their thoughts. All our lives, we atone for the transgressions against the God Emperor, and after death, we return to his judgment. But that is our burden to bear, my lord. When I see you and realize that before me stands his anointed one, blessed by his godly hand, there is no one happier than I. So she refers to the Tower of Humankind as the tower where the God Emperor sits on top of, whatever that means. But that, like, all of space is a giant tower the God Emperor is on top of that is walled against evil. I mean, metaphorically, maybe there's something you could go with, since they don't really understand space travel and all that, being a feudal world. Giving them the benefit of the doubt that there's some logic to this. I don't really know where their viewpoint is coming from, but having slightly different views of the Imperial Creed, or I guess the Imperial Cult, is generally okay as long as it doesn't break off into heresy. Which is why you have, like, the death cults and whatnot, where their view is very different than the average viewpoint taught by the ecclesiarchy, but it's still okay because it's still a version of worshipping the God Emperor, and they're not delving into heresy. So I can't say that their view is necessarily wrong, because it doesn't seem yet like they're doing anything heretical from what she's said. What do you think of the governor? Oh, he is a wonderful person, so considerate and generous, but of course, his venerable age has taken its toll. He behaves oddly from time to time, but we all have our quirks, don't we? Unless those quirks go into heresy. He behaves oddly. How so? Well, he gave me a lovely Desertium necklace just before you arrived. Strange, is it not, to bestow such treasure on someone of the lower nobility? And I also noticed that we have been conversing more of late, and it's been easier. Sometimes I think he knows me better than I know myself. Okay, that necklace has something questionable about it. So the governor has never favored you like this before. Perhaps the appointment to escort the rogue trader also came as a surprise. May blinks in astonishment. That is so, my lord adjudicator. I still wonder why the God Emperor saw fit to bestow such tremendous honor upon me. Yeah, I'm guessing some sort of implanted listening device in the necklace, or maybe some warpy thing. Something about that necklace is probably questionable. Tell me about Bluff, the fool. How did he win the governor's favor? He is the best among all the court servants. Maeve looks down, but you catch the fear in her eyes. He always knew how to make the noble lords laugh, but at first, Dane's jokes were just funny pranks and puns. Those were wonderful, almost impossible times. Something happened, and Dane changed, did he not? That is his name, yes? So Bluff changed his, or Dane changed his name to Bluff at some point. The fact that he's fully cloaked and wears a mask, at least to me, means he may not still be the same person. Also, if he massively changed. Dane changed, did he not? That is his name, yes? Yes, he seemed to retreat into himself all of a sudden, and he started snapping back at people, saying sarcastic, scathing things. His jokes were simple before, but now there is always a nasty bite to them, and he's started exploding at every little thing and ordering me about. My own brother. Having said all this, she freezes in fear, turning white as a sheet. Apologies for my lack of restraint. Bluff is her brother, or at least Dane is her brother. Interesting. For a brief moment, a deep wrinkle cuts across Solomon's forehead. So your brother is not his usual self. This world is a tangled web indeed. When everyone's wearing masks and even the lords are wearing other people's faces, it's got to be hard to know who is actually who. Since you are here, show me how the Saurians entertain their nobles. I'm gonna ask it. Though I don't want to abuse her. And I'm curious of how this is gonna go. Show me how the Saurians entertain their nobles. What would you like me to do, my celestial lord? I was taught how to dance and sing. Sing me your favorite song, dance for me. Clean your muck off my shoes until they shine. Sing for me. Sing me your favorite song. Maeve nods apprehensively, then closes her eyes and begins. With great care, she sings a passage of some local hymn about how the Emperor, who holds the key of all destinies, locked the heavens against invisible monsters and enemies of humanity. Her voice, though trembling with nerves, is surprisingly pleasant to listen to. What song is that? The story of humanity's deliverance from darkness. It is sung once a moon life as a reminder of the great deeds of the God Emperor, who used the key to all destinies to lock the world away from wicked things. He walled himself up in the great tower of humankind along with all the people. He could have ascended to the stars, but he chose to stay for our sake. Though we are unworthy, we must remember this deed. And not a single note and tune. Awful. That was delightful. Thank you. A blush erupts on Maeve's cheeks. Thank you, Celestial Lord. For me, there is no reward greater than your praise. Dance for me. Maeve closes her eyes as if listening to music only she can hear and begins to sway. Her dance is made up of simple movements, but the grace and ease with which she performs them add to their charm. When she comes to a stop before you in a final curtsy, her cheeks are flushed. I hope this humble dance was worthy of your eyes, Celestial Lord. Teach me to dance? Solomon's probably just like, we need to get on with the investigation. What are you doing? Teach me to dance. Let's give it a try. Maeve smiles cheerfully. The movements are simple. Watch. You put this foot here, and you stretch your arm out like this. That is excellent, my lord. Thank you, Maeve. It is an honor to entertain the Celestial Lord. I'm going to say let's continue our walk. The look straight through her feels really weird. Let's continue our walk. As you wish, Celestial Lord.
Victory awaits!
The fact that her brother is the court fool, I'm sure is not an accident. They chose her specifically for a reason. Is this page 3? It is. The sacrament has been performed. I felt the cage open its gates. I felt him that holdeth the keys open the lock of my body. At first I found it hard to breathe. It was as though the inside of my body was lined with vice that was not my own. In my mind's confusion, I cannot tell what moon life it is, or which chapter of this book I am presently writing, but the greatest one is all-knowing, and every turn of fate has been chosen by him in advance. Thus, if my new fate tries to resist me, I shall bring it to heel. Okay, something really weird is going on there. He feels that he has... So it's not necessarily reincarnation, which is what I assumed. He's still alive, but feels that he has moved to a new life. A new fate. I'm wondering if replacing faces is part of the action of getting a new fate, a new life, whatever. Young nobleman next to a cogitator that I can't interact with. Gray-haired nobleman. What's up? As you approach, the nobles bow gracefully. Their sewn-on faces are wrapped tightly around their skulls, and their eyes gleam with earnest subservience. One dares to address you. "Oh, celestial lord, grace us with your regard. When my brother and I heard of your arrival, we immediately sought to surprise you with an exceptional gift." The ancient scrolls tell of a wonder, a mechanical sage by the name of the Kogikor. It knows the answers to all questions, can make other machines do its bidding, and may even predict the future. My brother and I have borne many a hardship, but we managed to acquire this magic contraption for our much-cherished guest. The box in front of you, presumably the Kogikor they speak of, exudes a strong odor of ritual oils. Made of thin planks, it is covered in so many purity seals that it seems to be held together by them alone. A stack of flimsy rough paper lies atop it, and there is a mica panel with malachite buttons attached to the front. A thin slit is visible among the buttons. Abelard sighs heavily and leans over to you. Sometimes when information reaches the more backwater worlds, it undergoes strange metamorphoses in the minds of unfortunate and regrettably parochial laypeople. Have mercy, Lord Captain. They probably have been trying to please you. After a chrono turn of heavy silence, Pascal finally intones, I am registering an active imitation of sanctity. This cultural phenomenon is typical of underdeveloped tribes. I also anticipate the discovery of cave pictograms dedicated to the divine arrival of the more advanced units. Let's listen to the sounds coming from the box. There's a barely audible breathing coming from the box. Whoever is inside wants very much not to be noticed. Glader stalks towards the box and bares his fangs, while Solomon frowns grimly at the device. Really? Then again, what else could you expect from this ignorant world? There's something I wish to ask this Kogikor. Unseal the box and let the poor soul out at once. Yes, there's probably some slave trapped in there. What a rare, magnificent gift. I will be honored to display it in my chambers. Or break the box. I heard that Kogikors are also indestructible. Let's see if the tales are true. So, the nobles are trying to please me. And Abelard wants us to not, have mercy. But I'm definitely not going to let them leave someone trapped inside. We'll start out by asking a question of the Kogikor. If I may advise the Celestial Lord, in order to receive an answer, one should take a piece of paper and slide it into the hole here. Then touch this stone and ask the question loudly and clearly. Kogikor, what is the distance between the earth and sky? What does the future have in store for me? Kogikor, answer only yes or no. Is your next answer going to be no? Kogikor, what is the punishment for liars and frauds? Enough questions for now. What does the future have in store for me? The sheet shoots back out of the box and falls to the ground. It bears a solemn inscription, Glory Everlasting. What is the punishment for liars and frauds? The box holds the paper for a long time. When the sheet finally emerges from the slot, it is visibly shaking. You see the words, immolation, please don't. Solomon folds his arms and leans towards the slot, his voice ringing with steel. Machines cannot feel fear, Kogikor. They can only meekly accept their fate. The proctor reaches your gaze and shrugs. I couldn't help myself. Enough questions for now. As you wish. Do not hesitate to pose more questions. It has enough ink for many more answers. Unseal the box and let the poor soul out at once. Who? What poor soul? I do not. The young nobleman addressing you withers under the scathing gaze of his partner. As you command, my celestial lord, forgive us. We wished only to delight you by reproducing an otherworldly miracle we had read about in an ancient chronicle. Iconoclast, you are nothing but a pair of dim-witted lickspittles, but mere stupidity hardly warrants an execution. Get out of my sight. Dogmatic, I will inform the governor of your stunt. I hope that a few dozen lashes will teach you to respect the Omnissiah. Heretical, kill one of the brothers. You dare mock the celestial lord. You are nothing but a pair of dim-witted lickspittles, but mere stupidity hardly warrants an execution. Get out of my sight. I'm going with the Iconoclast option. I don't think they've done anything worthy of lashes. We did not mean to offend. We only wish to please. Yeah, I know. Which is why I'm not going to have you executed or lashed. Alright, over here is how we get down to that corpse. So let's head this way first. What is this symbol? Oh, it's where Glado would interact. Okay. Sure. Bloody Sacrament. With this maul creates... Area attacks with this maul create a smoke cloud. All creatures that enter... I need to see the full thing. All creatures that enter that area must pass a toughness, strength, and willpower resistance test with a -40 penalty. On a failed toughness test, target becomes blinded. On a failed strength test, slowed. Failed willpower, disturbed for 2 rounds. Huh. Damage is pretty terrible. Particularly for a power weapon. I don't know, I'd rather focus on just killing enemies rather than giving them some minor debuffs. Yep, I see that, Plato.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Ballistic skill. I don't know what that would be a ballistic skill for, so I'm gonna save first.
Did you hope to see an Azuriani fail?
Why are you always failing, Irliet? Last stream you failed repeatedly. Small dented metal cylinders are scattered in front of the blacksmith. The objects look familiar, but the poor craftsmanship makes it difficult to tell what they were intended to be. My guess is some sort of bullet shell. Let's do a reload, try again, and hope we get a better result.
Too hard for a simple monkey.
Blacksmith has somehow managed to forge shells and casings. These do not belong on a feudal world, but they are no doubt as to what they are. But there is no doubt as to what they are. So they are making shells and casings, which is not something that should be seen on a feudal world. We've got a dead guy here. 95%, so we might fail it. Gonna hope for good results.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Judging by his attire, the man was of high social standing. Someone has carefully and skillfully peeled the skin off of his face. So, a high noble, or somewhere in high social standing, was killed. So they're not killing just any old peasant. They've killed someone in high social standing to steal his face. That's very interesting. Let's open this gate.
Unexpected result.
Might as well. And climb up here.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
More things for cyber pets we don't have. Who's there? Is that the Celestial Lord himself? You shouldn't have come here. Why not? Fates become tangled in this place, and faces change. Who knows if by nightfall you won't have lost yourself. Just a piece of advice, beware the shimmering blue, or else you'll end up like Gregorius Fault. Gregorius Fault is the one who was writing all those chapters that we've been reading. Avoid the shimmering blue, or beware the shimmering blue. Okay.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Maeve, anything you want to say while we're by this body? Nope. Shimmering blue. Let's examine a horse.
I did it?
The horses glance at you with an odd curiosity. One of them pulls its muzzle closer and clacks its teeth almost greedily and hungrily for a harmless herbivore. Okay. So the horses are more greedy and hungry than we expect. Enormous gate is locked fast. Doesn't seem we can interact with the stall owner. Let's see. There are some goods we missed. Ah, here. We're gonna have to get upstairs. Okay, you do have cyber pets. We'll get to that in a moment. We need to keep going up, I think.
It's about time.
I think we haven't missed anything. Can't talk to you. Okay, so this is the execution, maybe? We've got some mutants, a lot of mutants. Yeah. I think this is the execution. We'll hold off on that if we can. Explore elsewhere first.
As a child, I was captivated by the chronicles of the feudal world Urban II. Knights clad in shining armor riding their fine steeds, battling enemies of humanity, and holding feasts after their victories. But this world has only grey and mud.
I think
The
that's...
same is true for many worlds in the Imperium, Lady Cassia. You should accustom yourself to that fact.
I would think that most feudal worlds are going to be fairly gray and mud. Tiny lice are hopping around the gilded plate. The lady squashes the insects with a small golden hammer, only for more of them to drop from her coiffed hair and into her food. Gross. Gross. Super gross. Cyber Mastiff. I should actually look into these. We've gotten quite a few Cyber Mastiff upgrades. If I type in Mastiff. Okay, so it is finding all of them, not just, they don't need Cyber Mastiff in the name. Cyber Mastiff deals 150% more damage whenever its protected ally dodges or parries an attack. The Cyber Mastiff gains +6 temporary wounds and deals 16% more damage for 1 round. Does not stack. I don't think we were using Protect much. We were usually having it go on the offensive. Cyber Mastiff gets +10 weapon skill and deals 75% more damage. Yes, please. More damage sounds great. There's something not right about number 4. It does not know commands, just does whatever it wants, so they locked it up to keep it out of trouble, your celestial highness. Lesser-X augmetics are just as rusty and in sore need of service, but the creature looks far worse than the rest. Gaunt and weak, almost miserable. The beast looks up at you with glazed eyes as you approach. On the door, you notice a scrawled sign that reads, Animal number 4, Doubt Feed. The same number is burned into the skin of the Lesser-X. Let's examine the Lesser-X. A quick inspection is enough to determine the cause of the problem. Some of Lacerex's augmetics are clearly not working correctly. The muscles near the energy conduits are twitching as if the machine spirits, in their fury, were torturing the beast. It is surprising that only this Lacerex shows such signs of torment, considering the poor state of the augmetics of all the cyber beasts here. Such a desolate creature, all that finds its way into the chains of the monkey is doomed to ruin. I've seen Glado convulse like that when his augmetics were malfunctioning, Solomon says, then adds with sudden anger, I doubt the local half-wits had the first clue about maintaining implants. They should have stuck to shovels and left the beast alone. I don't know if we want to unlock the cage. Let's attempt to repair the creature's augmetics. You try to reach your hand inside to get at the Lacerex's augmetics, but the cage bars force you to withdraw. We could unlock the cage in the hopes that that option reappears. Might start a fight, which I would win. But Pascal could probably fix it. Let's unlock the cage. You are unfamiliar with the operation of the mechanical lock, but that doesn't seem to stop you, or that does not stop you from disabling it. The cage door opens with a creak, however the beast inside shows no reaction. Alright, let's attempt to repair it again. You find the issue and fix it with ease. One of the circuits was broken, possibly damaged in a fight with the other beasts. When you are done with the repairs, you're hit with a realization. There is now nothing standing between you and this huge predator. Yeah, it's fine, probably. With a flash of its visors, the beast begins to turn slowly towards the exit. For a brief moment, you find yourself only a meter away from a monstrosity whose jaws could snap a person in two. It hisses in your face. Suddenly, you see something moving out of the corner of your eye. A whirl of skirts, a frail figure. With a small shriek, Maeve throws herself between you and the snarling beast. Off with you! Get away from my lord! What are you doing? It's going to kill you. Step away, Maeve. That's an order. Here comes fresh meat. Dinner time, little monster. What are you doing? It's going to kill you. The young woman is trembling violently, but she does not move an inch. Better me than you. Maeve shuts her eyes tightly and clenches her whitening fingers around her dress. With a sonorous roar, the Lacerex swiftly lunges forward, past Maeve's frail figure, and toward freedom. Oh, goodbye. Sorry we set one of your beasts free. Oops. Salivating profusely, the Lacerex watch the food dispense disappear into people's throats. Judging by their protruding ribs, beasts have not been properly fed in some time. I'll be telling my grandchildren of this day when some people accidentally set one of these cyber Lacerex free. Oops.
Unexpected result.
Alright, so we've got a book here. Chronicle of Fates, page 7875. Also by Gregorius Fault. Chapter 0406. That is a much farther page in this chronicle. I'm impure, and my body is impure. Vital fluids not my own are stirring within me, as though wood-boring beetles are digging their filthy tunnels through my frame. I must destroy this vice. I must squeeze it out. It is customary to replace an old vessel, and I have replaced my rotten cage with chambers of gold. Yet I still feel filthy, for if the contents are spoilt, and not merely the shell, then what can be done to achieve redemption? My face is burning. A borrowed face, a weak face. I must take off the fetters of my skin, and cleanse its inner side of vice. Take it away, O Emperor. Take it away and give me a new cage. Yeah, so you have a borrowed face, which I was thinking was related to this ritual that they were doing. And it might be, we don't know. But it feels like your body is rejecting that new face.
Experience?
Maybe.
Nothing matters more.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Can I get over there? Or can I just look at this from up here? No. So let's try hopping up here again.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Okay, we can climb down there. Perfect. Judging by the deep scratches, there used to be a makeshift bridge here. If you put something in its place, you can try crossing to the next roof. There's no doubt that this piece of iron is sturdy enough, but it is woefully short for a bridge. What about this one? The rusted sheet of iron could easily reach the other side of the roof, but is unlikely to hold a person's weight. Can I not use both? Maybe I need to go back down there now. That's probably the bridge that did exist. And there's probably some reason I would want to get over there. Yeah, probably that is loot.
Follow my lead.
Oh, or this. Hi, Maeve. Despite the gaps, the metal lattice looks both sturdy and long enough. Okay, let's make the bridge.
An expected
Halt.
result.
I noticed something.
You notice a trap.
A trivial task.
Enjoy your luck while you still draw breath.
Okay. We did not spot that trap. Assault armor, medium armor. Oh, and I took the hit? Of course I did. Character wearing this armor will dodge 30%. Yeah. Whenever the wearer starts their turn with no enemies in a 3-cell radius, they gain 4 movement point and do not provoke attacks of opportunity this turn. Plus 10% armor if the wearer starts their turn with at least 1 enemy within 3-cell radius. What kind of armor do you wear? I guess. Are you wearing heavy? You're wearing medium. What is reactivate? Oh, it's your ability to heal up your pet if it takes too much damage. Got it. You're wearing heavy, I'm sure. Yeah. You're in medium. So it's the same armor. No, I think reactivate is more important.
Sometimes you
All
consult
right.
the appropriate.
Speak, Elanta.
Watching the lazy
Pascal.
handle sacred technology breaks
Can
my
you
heart.
heal me, please?
Figuratively speaking.
I stand in recognition.
Thank you.
Calculating optimal route.
Victory awaits.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
Alright, some goods here. Big statue. What was it? The glowing blue something or other? I don't know. Let's look around. Good view of the place. I'm going to say before talking to this guy because I think he's going to be important. Tavrisk the Sculptor. Since you're in front of something glowing in blue, Sculptor's mechanical hands crawl over the rough stone, their many-jointed metal fingers remaining in constant motion. Even now, you recognize your own features in the unfinished piece. It seems someone commissioned a statue of you the moment you set foot on the planet. The old man turns his wrinkled face to you, and you see crystals where his eyes should be. Is my celestial lord here to gaze upon his destiny? Alas, my creation is not yet complete. I'm here to look at the sculpture. What has my destiny got to do with it? When I sculpt, your celestial highness, I see people's destinies in the forms I create. The visions that come to me shape not only the stone, but the person's fate as well. Your image was indistinct when it appeared before me, and my work is not yet done. What do you wish to behold? There is no embellishment in the old man's words. He shares a special bond with his creations, one that you can sense as clearly as any other breath of the warp. Glorious deeds of my future, all that I am accomplishing in the present. This is ludicrous. You do not decide my destiny, nor do I need a monument. Tell me about my future. What can you see? The sculptor's hands scuttle over the stone like huge metal spiders. Somehow, his sightless gaze envisions the exact version of you that you wish to see. Your destinies will soon be complete, my lord. I will have it delivered to your starfaring vessel. Nations gained glory yet to come. Effect duration permanent. Your very life's path has been carved into stone. Images of your future deeds are distracting you from the here and now, but someday those fantasies will become reality. Reduce the character's fellowship until the end of the mission on Thessara. Well, that's not ideal. Although I'm guessing if we had said, tell me about the here and now, we would have still gotten some sort of penalty. We were warned to stay away from the glowing blue. Who are you? Ah, humble creator, the governor's first sculptor, Tavrisk, who has the honor of shaping the destinies of others but not his own. Tavrisk the sculptor turns his head to you, but you see no pupils in his crystal ocular augmetics. I do not quite understand. Are you a psyker? My lord governor calls me a foreteller and creator, others a wicked sorcerer. But there's no cause for concern. My abilities are sanctioned. I am pure before the Emperor's celestial eye. He gestures at the tubes on the back of his head, as if to prove the truth of his words. I don't know that tubes on the back of your head prove that you are sanctioned. I'd like to know more about your sanctioning process. What can you tell me about this material you were working with? This is the Certium, a fascinating stone born from the bowels of this planet. Like any other kind, it bends and melts beneath the sculptor's tool, but for the sculpture to come to life in earnest, they must put their very soul into it. One of his hands emerges from behind the statue and gently touches his head, seemingly of its own volition. The soul, however, obtains calluses the more the sculptor works, and mine has long since become covered in scabs. The blue veins of the statue flare faintly under your gaze. The stone undoubtedly possesses psi-focused properties, allowing the old man to concentrate warp energies in it and amplify them. Your hand augmetics are most impressive. Such implants are impossible to come by on a feudal world. Where are you from? Lord Rualdo had my limbs replaced before he took me from my home planet. It was so long ago, I have since forgotten what my land is like to the touch. I've since forgotten what my land is like to the touch? I don't know. Sculptor's mechanical arms are pierced by sticky tubes, and the elbow joints have all but worn down. It must have been a decade since these implants were last serviced. Such neglect often poses a serious threat to a person's life, and yet the old man's skin looks relatively healthy in the spots where flesh and metal meet. This man appears to belong to a rare variety of psykers, biomancers capable of recovering even from otherwise deadly wounds and diseases. Did you capture the governor's destiny in sculpture too? His mouth stretches into a cryptic smile. I have made thousands of statues for Rualdo, but Thessara's stone flesh can never seem to sate his great ambitions. Thousands of statues. I'm wondering how old Rualdo is. Under the assumption that maybe, given that they have different faces, is it just a line of people who periodically apply a new face and claim they are Rualdo? Or has he actually made thousands of statues in the decades that he's been here? I mean, maybe. Skilled Sculptor once more turns his unseen gaze to the patterns in the stone before him. Alright, so we've got a penalty to our fellowship, which isn't the end of the world. Fellowship's not really a focus of ours.